Welcome back to FTLG. We're raising money for charity. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. But hello, friends and fellow gamers. You guys are watching For the Love of Gaming's third online extravaganza. And I will be your next host for these couple of licensed games. I am Tempest Mask 1000. You might have seen me a little bit earlier in the marathon bringing Azure Striker Gunvolt. And it's good to be back, especially because we've got ourselves right here, right now, the third and final of the wonderful SuperSonic's little tenure right here. So coming up right now will be Animaniacs. SS, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Tempest Mac, and hello everybody. Yes, I am back again with Animaniacs. So we switched from a Nintendo game over to a Genesis game now, and we will be playing the easy difficulty, which gives us 5 lives. And if we had like the other difficulties, it has 3 and then 1 for normal and hard respectively. But we're going to be doing this on easy. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here. And time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, so first things first. This is the intro stage. We're being introduced with Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, which are the Warner brothers and the Warner sister. So Yakko has the ability to push and pull blocks as well as utilize a paddle ball to stun enemies. And then Wacko has a mallet in which he can break objects as well as ignite the fuses for lighting up cannons and such. And then Dot can blow a kiss to male counterparts and basically, immobilize them. As we will see here, we got one of the god pigeons, or the good fellas, I think good pigeons? I forgot their names already. But, yeah, so we got Squid there. Or was that? No, what's the other guy's name? Pesto? I keep on mixing them up, but there's like 3 different pigeons on there. But, so I like to call this the Jurassic Park studio. So you kind of see or like the Indiana Jones studio, whichever you want to call it. The Good Feathers, thank you. I think it was like Pesto, Squid, and Bobby. I think that's what the birds' names are. And then you got like Solly the God Pigeon, which we will see later on in this game. And as we're kind of going through this little auto-scroller here, I'm just going to go ahead and use this mallet to bring that elephant down. So as you can pretty much see, we are in studios. So we are actually in the Warner Brothers studio right now. And there's like different kind of movie studios that we're going through. So this is like the Indiana Jones studio. Then we got the Star Wars or Star Trek studio. Then we got some, I don't know, like some generic Western movie studio, and then we got like a horror movie studio right after. So this is kind of like a Sonic Hero style game, so we get to switch between characters. The switch between the characters are set, so it'll be like Yakko to Wacko, then to Dot, and then back to Yakko. We cannot switch from Yakko to Dot, or like Wacko to Yakko, or so on and so forth. So it's always going to be in like a set switch, as you can see here. So while we're going through this auto-scroller here, a bit about this the plot of this game. So the Warner brothers and the Warner sister had their artifacts taken away, which they originally stole, by some unknown culprit. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to traverse through each studio to get them back, and they're using their unique abilities to work together and grab these artifacts back. So as we are just approaching the end of this section here, gonna go ahead and jump up. If we stayed on that train, we would have just fell to the pit, which we don't want happening. So we're just gonna casually stand on this gigantic rock to get an ice cream to refill our health a little bit. So as you can see on the top left corner of your screen, there's expressions for the characters. And whenever we take damage, their expression will change to happy, to like slightly happy, and then worried, and then pretty much death. So we will be utilizing some damage boosts in this game as well to get through various sections of the game. And our star for this stage is Wacko. as we are approaching our first boss fight. Go ahead and use the mallet to switch this door open. And we are met up with Ralph, the security guard. He can move at various speeds here. You just have to stun him 7 times here. And there's also some pebbles falling from the ceiling. But that didn't really give us too much trouble there. And after defeating Ralph, we will get our first artifact, which is the Indiana Jones hat. So after each stage, we will go through a score countdown. And it'll count how much time we have left and how much lives we have left. So normally in the speedrun itself, we do take death abuses at the start of the stage that I was just on to bring our life count down to 0. And the reason being is it will actually make the score countdown a lot faster. But for marathon purposes, we will be keeping our lives here. So we will just go through the score countdowns. So now we are heading into the space studio. We're just going to do a lot of character switching here. And then we're going to meet up with Solly the God Pigeon. In which to this day I never have a single idea of what he says, because it always sounds like gibberish. So now we got to stand on this platform, which moves really slow, and those lasers that are shooting up above are random. There's no way to control that or manipulate that, so we just gotta be careful not to take damage from it. And then normally the game intends you to keep going left, but we're just gonna cut through here and then exit this area. And we're just going to stand on this third block and then just kind of walk across. Push this block here and switch over to Wacko to activate this switch. And this is an automated section here. All we got to do is just kind of keep Ralph stunned here with Yakko's paddle ball. There are treasure chests up above, and once you break them, they'll either drop health recovery items or stars. Now, when you collect stars in this game, I don't really think they do anything except give you a 1-up. If you collect like all of them, like all 99, then goes back down to double zeros. But we want to try to limit the stars as best as we can, because those also count towards our score. Though of course there will be stars that kind of are in the way, so we have no choice but to grab them. Okay, we're going to see if we can try to go for a skip here. That is the life skip, so we don't have to break open that, as well as we save time by not going through the bottom section of the stage. So now we got a bit of a Donkey Kong kind of climbing thing here with Ralph, kind of zigzagging our way through here. I kind of noticed that my paddle ball was out for a split second. That's because I'm doing a button buffer to grab the box. And for this section, we're just going to bring the box here, switch over to Wacko to activate this switch. And then we gotta switch back to Yakko to push this block over. And we're gonna do another button buffer to grab this one. And then we gotta wait for this door to open because it opens really slow. And also we're gonna switch over to Dot because she has the smallest hitbox. And then once we see it open up just right there, and we're gonna see, hello, nurse. That's probably the only time we'll see her, unfortunately. Also, shout out to Sonic 2 Chemical Plant with these platforms here. The staircases. I honestly feel like this game has a lot of mixture from other games as well. You got a bit of Mega Man with the stage selection. Then you got Sonic. And then we got just like regular platforming and stuff like that. Alright, and then once we're in this cannon, we're going to hold down the jump button to get shot further. That lag is unavoidable. It just, you know, doesn't really cost any time in general, since we have to deal with that lag. And now we're going to switch over to Yakko for the upcoming boss fight here. And there are some health recovery items in case you need to refill your health. And it's kind of funny how there's ice cream where there's flames in the background. I don't know how they're not melting. So now we are back up against Ralph here. I like to call this stage the Donkey Kong Jr. stage, which is like stage 3. For anyone that has played Donkey Kong Jr. This is kind of what it reminds me of. All we got to do is just scale up the top here. And then whenever we see Ralph show up, we're just going to stun him with our paddle ball. And then for this section here, grab our artifact and we are done with the stage. Alright, so we got 2 stages down. Now we're going to come up on probably one of the most RNG heavy stages, which is stage 3, the western stage. So as far as the route goes, you can actually play stage 3 second and then go to stage 2, but for marathon purposes, we are just going to go in order. Now we got to deal with Ralph here. He's just going to keep throwing bombs. This is automated, so we just got to wait for him to stop throwing bombs and have a horse ram him, really. There we go. Those wild horses can also damage you, but we're going to try to keep our health because we will be going for 2 specific damage boosts in this stage. Alright, then we see Mindy and Buttons. Yeah, we will be seeing them again quite frequently. I'll just get through that. I'm going to switch over to Wacko here to bring down the detonator. And then detonate it so we can bring the bridge down. Go back to Yakko to stun Ralph. Then we can just get past him. But for that stage light that just fell down, if we didn't jump there, it would actually hit me. So that's the reason why I jumped. And also these barrels, they're in a cycle of 4 each time. So we're just going to count to 4 and then just kind of avoid these barrels here. I didn't quite get a good cycle here, so we'll just let these barrels pass by and then we'll progress through. Okay, then that's 3 and then this should be 4. There we go. Get rid of Mindy and Buttons, and don't worry, no child or dog was harmed in the making of this video game. It's totally safe. And now we're heading into this section, which is why I needed my health for, because we're going to damage boost through this flame here. That does take 2 damage, and originally the game wants you to push these blocks to create a bridge so you can get past there. But that takes a lot of time for the first section, that we just end up damage boosting through it, and it's just fine. So now we got Yoku blocks, which is like an homage to Mega Man, I suppose. Although these are a lot slower, but they still kind of remind me of Yoku blocks. I kind of like how they conveniently place an extra life towards the flame there, so it's like they want you to jump towards it and get burned, but we're not going to be doing that. So now we're going to have Mindy wake up with the paddle ball, then kiss Solly the God Pigeon, and then we're almost made it. So I was trying to get a skip here so we don't have to go through this bottom section, but unfortunately I just missed that jump, so we have to go back over and around here, which is totally fine. I mean, it's no big deal. We have to get this jump this time. There we go. Yeah, that's where they have the detonator for the door to open. Alright, now we got the most annoying boss fight. It is Ralph again, however, we're going to be throwing pies at him. So we're going to stick as Wacko here, and this pie launcher is pure RNG. So we're going to see if we can try to get it stuck at a decent side, as well as trying to hit Ralph. We have to hit Ralph 5 times with these pies. This is probably like the most annoying part of this game here, because of like how, I don't know how Ralph can move so fast on that thing. But he's making it work somehow. We got him once. We need him 4 more times. That should have hit him. I call shenanigans game. Come on. That's 2. Need 3 more. Oops, I don't want to take damage though. We have tried like various things to keep this pie launcher at a specific spot. Alright, there's 3. Let's see if we can get... Ah, it went all... There's 4. Can we get 1 more? Oh, goes all the way that way. That should do it. There we go. Alright, so that was only phase 1. Now we got phase 2 coming up, which is automated. So we're gonna push this box over to here so we can jump across. Then we're going to switch back to Wacko. Suplex the train. I wish. Alright, so this automated section, we just need to keep this train all the way to the right. Ralph is going to try to catch up to us, but there will be an instance where he'll just kind of jump towards the train, kind of like that, but since it is on a timer, we will see him do that regardless, and I am at low health right now. And the lid on top of that chute is RNG, so it'll open up whenever it wants to. So we got to watch out for the coal as well. Okay, there he jumped. So now we're going to keep this train to the right, and it's going to lock. And now we'll just stand right here, and then Ralph, with his really quick feet, trying to catch up to us. But he's going to slow down and then stumble and fall, thus throwing the artifact toward us. Yeah, the setup for that fight is really strange because you need to try to keep the pile launcher to the left side originally, but if you get it launched at a different spot, then it just goes haywire from there. But anyways, this reminds you so much of the SNES Bonkers game. Oh, nice. Yeah, I actually never played Bonkers. And now we're in the horror stage. We're going to try to go for a hay bale skip here. We got it. So instead of not doing the puzzle there, we basically switched between characters on, like, as we landed on that. And we had to mash the jump button so that it doesn't throw us back to the beginning of the stage. And now we're heading into the haunted house. And we got some laughing books here. I like to call this good book RNG. We didn't get good book RNG. That's totally fine. Gonna switch over to Dot here. We're gonna meet up with Dracula. We're just gonna throw a kiss. And that'll make him disappear for the time being. But we will see him again. So now there's a lot of puzzles we gotta do, and I unfortunately took a death there. So that's probably something I didn't quite mention, how checkpoints work in this game. There actually aren't any checkpoints. The way how this game works is if you end up dying on a specific screen, it'll take you back to the beginning of that screen that you're currently on. So as you just saw, since I died to the getting crushed from that statue, it took me back to the beginning of this screen. And if I get really deep into the screen I end up dying, it'll take me back to the beginning of that screen. So dying is pretty bad in this game with not having any sort of checkpoints. Also, we got Pinky and the Brain here. They have their French horn contraption. They're trying to put us in there, but we're not going to let them. Yeah, I know the SNES version is completely different. I never played the SNES version before. I'm more familiar with this one, but I think the SNES version, it's more of like you're pretty much free to move anywhere, like as compared to this game where you're just kind of going left and right. But I would like to play the SNES version someday. So as you saw there, I did put the blocks intentionally to open up that left door. So now we're going to put them in their intended spots to open up the right door. Because we needed to have this block here in order to progress through. Gonna push this down one step and then just jump over and then go right into the sewer area. So we're going to take this box here. You don't necessarily need this box because you can actually go for a frame perfect jump on this pump that's coming up here. But it is actually a lot easier to just bring that box to cover the water that's in that area. So we're going to come down here to drain this water. And then once we see the water down at right about there, we're just going to go up and over. We're forced to grab this life here, which is fine. And do another button buffer to grab this block and then push it down to create a platform to the end of this section. Alright, switch over to Wacko for the boss fight. And we're meeting up with Dracula again. So this is very easy fight. All you gotta do is drop Dracula 7 times. And Dracula will always jump across from you. So as you notice that I am jumping to the top left there, he's gonna go to the top right every single time. And this is the fastest way you can do this boss. Otherwise, he will start shooting fireballs, which are pretty slow. But as long as you do this manipulation, this is a very easy fight. And we grab our Jason mask and we're done. Hey, what's up, Andrew G? Alright, so we finished our 4 studios, so now it's going to take us to what I like to call the quote-unquote Wiley stage, which is the Edgar ceremony, or the Oscars, whichever you want to call it. So this stage is very difficult, and they throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink. So first things we're going to do is we're going to switch over to Wacko first. And we're going to get some extra height on this catapult that's coming up. I'm going to hold down the jump button to get extra height here. And then the game intends you to break those generators to stop the flamethrowers from shooting, but we're just going to take intentional damage here. And then we're going to see a pinky in the brain. We're going to send them up towards that generator, and they're going to do a little bit of a dance. We're going to stand right here, listen for an audio cue. Right there. So that way the electric thing is not going to kill me, even though I was clearly right inside of it. So that audio cue will get you safely through that electrical thing. And you see kind of, you know, Ralph is just snoozing and losing. Now we gotta push these blocks. Stack them down here and open our way across. And now this next section is very scary as well. So we are outside of an apartment complex, and since you see it's shaking, but it's actually Flavio and Marita, the dancing hippos. They're actually on the top floor for whatever reason, and I don't know how it's actually supporting them right now, which is really impressive to me. They are creating this earthquake with their dancing, and all this debris is falling, but thankfully we made it through just fine. But that section can definitely go haywire if you end up getting hit by anything, because the knockback is really terrible in this game when you're in the air. Because it'll just send you straight down instead of like being thrown backwards or something. Okay, then we're gonna be Wacko again. We're gonna stay as Wacko for a little bit here. And now we are going to try to run away from this exploding left side here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the safety apple and switch over to Yakko really quick to bring this block over to the left a little bit. And then the game just teases you with an extra life there, but there's no way to grab that unless you push that block all the way and risk getting killed by the explosion. Alright, now we switch back to Wacko. Now we open up the door, and then we're going to switch back to Yakko. And now we got a helicopter in the background shooting at the window, and those window shards do deal 2 damage. So we got to be careful not to get hit by those. Move that a little bit, there we go. Okay, bring this over here. I'm going to switch to Wacko to open the door. Alright, now... So we're not going to open up that fire hydrant. There is one fire hydrant that we are required to open up, which is this one right here. Because we need to bring this block over. And of course, when you bust open that fire hydrant, it does create a lot of lag because of the water. It's just a lot of individual sprites. So we'll just take this chicken to give us a little bit of a breather here. And those flames are RNG. They can pretty much hit you from out of nowhere. There's buttons trying to get Mindy, but unfortunately we're not going to be putting 2 together. Now for this last section, we're going to go ahead and grab the Edgar and finish the stage. And now we have roughly a 2-minute unskippable cutscene. So, Tempest Mask, if there's anything you want to plug with the charity and all that, feel free to do so.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I do want to mention that if I'm not mistaken, we do have a bit of oh, excuse me, and a bit of an eventicle here with our little donation total. At the moment, we have currently raised $2,300. $2,360. Excuse me, and I believe the goal in question is indeed $2,500, so I know that we still got quite a few runs before the end of the event, and I 110% believe that we can hit that for sure. And we are doing it for To Write Love on Her Arms, and I'd like to just give a couple of fun facts about how they are sharing the message of hope and help to others. They have responded to over 210,000 messages from people in 100 countries and have traveled more than 3.8 million miles to meet people within their communities. They've also shared 1.1k plus blog posts and have even launched a podcast to let others know that they aren't alone. If this very much does not impress you, then I don't know what does, because that right there is a lot of people and a lot of help sending out to the world, and I say we should do as much as we can to keep that help coming and then some. So I want you all to definitely consider donating as much or as little as you can. All your proceeds will help, no matter how big or small. And coming up, I do want to remind you all that we have Shredder's Revenge, and there will definitely be quite a couple of sections within that game for me to read some donations. I know I love to read me just about any donation. In fact, I'm gonna send you all a challenge. Throw me some puns your way. Let's see if you can make me groan. But with that in mind, I'm gonna send it back to you, SS.
All right, thank you very much for that. In time too, because we're right at the boss fight now. So we gotta fight Pinky in the Brain here, and the way to fight this thing is we gotta start off as Dot, so we can prevent Pinky from igniting the bomb, and switch to Yakko to push the bomb towards the boss, and then switch over to Wacko to blow it up. That's all we gotta do. And there's 2 phases to this fight as well. This is phase 1 currently. Getting close to finishing this phase, and then when phase 2 starts, they're basically gonna break in half, as you see here. And then the legs are pretty much on its own, just acting however it wants to, and it can also damage the top half as well. We're just gonna go ahead and bait the legs to kind of kick them in the chest, just like so. Not gonna worry about getting hit either, because it doesn't really deal too much damage. Alright, so now the legs are gonna go up over that way, and I think we have like 1 or 2 more hits remaining. Oh, that's it. Okay, so time is coming up when I grab the last artifact. I'll let you know. Just watch them get kicked, and then they explode, dropping the artifacts, and time. Six. All the artifacts, and then it's just going through a cutscene of Pinky doing their usual ending shtick. So, but yeah, that is Animaniacs. I hope you enjoyed the run. There currently isn't a Discord for this yet. It's still in work in progress. There aren't that many runners involved, but if you like to learn this game, you can reach out to me. You can also reach out to Zero Counts, who is the current world record holder of this game. And I'm hoping Discord server up. It's a fun one. Pretty straightforward. I don't worry about which is that much, but there are some skips that you can do. As far as the previous diagram, tomorrow's lost levels. there's a web store that you can find it in SuperSonic.com. And there's plenty of guys in there and gals that can help you get started learning as well. And the Mario community, shout outs to Animaniacs community. And my name is SuperSonic. You can find me on Twitch at SuperSonic _. And I usually stream various speedruns throughout the week, mostly Sonic speedrunning. I do on other various retro games as well. I went to FTLG crew for having me on. I really appreciate you guys having me, and best of luck to the runners throughout the rest of this marathon and raising money for charity. Until that, I bid you all farewell, and back to you, Jess.
Thank you very much, SS. Well, sit tight, you all, because coming up next is our good friend Achitree bringing us Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles joining. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
When sadness curls itself at the foot of your bed.
When grief finds home in the basement of your chest.
When your heart's garden swears it cannot grow here.
When the day feels too heavy, when the balcony is a thieving distraction.
When the drawers in the kitchen siren to you.
When the night is as heavy as an anchor and you cling to your own shore, remember, you are the ocean.
A single drop in a child's hand
that can hold up a ship when you make a mistake.
When you misstep or misspeak.
When you find yourself underneath the stains of your human.
Because you are human.
When the heavy of it all calls to you like a wailing animal.
Remember, there is nothing wrong with you.
There is everything significant about you.
From your shoulders to your shins.
From the galaxies in your irises
to the orchestra in your throat.
When the friends seem so few.
When the phone doesn't ring.
When it does, but you are too afraid to answer.
Too afraid you are too quiet or take up too much space. Remember, your name does not begin
or end
in silence.
Your story is not over. There are still chapters in this book.
There is still time to fall in love.
To fall out.
To shatter and mend.
To forgive and be forgiven.
Keep reading. Crown your failures.
Scream, I am worthy, until the stars collapse upon your brilliance.
No, if depression is the verse,
then hope is the chorus. Allow yourself to exist in this melody.
Even if the instrument of your body is tired of playing.
Self-love is not selfish. It is the mantra of someone who recognizes where they have been and where they need to go.
Find your love in the lake.
See how it ripples, how it continues. It is the earth's way of saying you are important, you are endless, be good to you.
Tell yourself, I deserve the keep.
I deserve to love and be loved. I deserve the whole show, the encore, the darkness that falls like a curtain, and the morning that will always follow. Will be the voice that sings behind you.
The receiving end of a phone call.
No, you are not alone.
No, you are not broken.
We will run forward to greet you, and together we will dance like wildfire because there is reason to celebrate. We will finally be.
I will see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
collide, we break down, caving in to our doubts. Faces filled with sadness. When words are said, we'll regret. I can see the fire that we made just to save us. When we try to make up for never letting go. Said the things we promised not to say, then we break up just to start all over, even though we know this is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better.
All right, everybody. Hello. If you can hear my voice, I am still your host, Tempest Mask 1000, and I just want to remind you all that you are currently watching For the Love of Gaming's third online extravaganza, and we are currently raising money to write love on her arms. And I do see that we have just reached $2.4K dollars, which is amazing. That only leaves us within $100 left of our goal of 2.5K, which is absolutely amazing. But we also still have plenty of runs left within the schedule. So I think not only can we hit this goal, but we can also go a little further beyond, because I know that we have the power to make a difference, just as much as to write love on her arms is doing themselves. With that said, I would like to let you all know that we are currently trying to get you all ready and stuff with some pizza power, as of course Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is coming up next. We are just trying to get a couple of technical difficulties fixed in there and stuff, but all is swimmingly fine, if I do say so myself, otherwise. So we shouldn't be too much longer. I would just like to remind chat that any donations that anyone would like to put in during this run, I give you all full permission to throw some puns my way. I want you all to try and make me cringe. I want you all to do it for the love and affection that I have for just everything positive and all that good jazz, for the sake of charity, for the sake of raising money for our charity, all that stuff. So if y'all can help me out there, I would very much appreciate that. Otherwise, we'll be right back with Shredder's Revenge. So don't touch that dial, and we'll see you all soon.